for now. We're going to move on. As we've been asking already in this show, is the course of true love running a bit less than smooth for the world's best-known dating app?
You went a little wild and took your Tinder date home to meet your entire family. It starts with a swipe.
That is the advertising pitch, but Tinder's parent company, Match Group Inc., now says that it is cutting 6%. The company is cutting 6% of its global workforce. This amid a continued slump in users paying for its most popular dating app. There has been an 8% fall in the number of paying Tinder users, it seems. So what's going on? Have Gen Z given up on finding love, or are they just tired of meeting future partners online? I'm going to find out with Linda deLucca. She runs Pre-Dating. It's a speed dating and singles events service in more than 50 cities in the US. Linda, explain what happens at these things. They sound rather old-fashioned. They sound rather 1990s speed dating events.
Well, they are a little bit old-fashioned, and I think that's really the charm of it. This is pretty much how your grandparents met, and it worked for them. So I think it'll probably work for most people today. Basically, you buy a ticket on our website, you show up at a planned time and place. Most people are coming straight from work, and we have a friendly event host that welcomes you and gives you instructions. And when the event starts, you talk to 6 to up to 14 singles of the opposite gender, one at a time, in a series of 6-minute little pre-dates. We keep the number of men and women as equal as possible, and you talk about whatever you like, what's important to you, but people keep it light and friendly. And then after that you meet each one, you indicate whether or not you want to speak with them again, and they do the same.
Wow. Well, I mean, it sounds like great fun. Does it lead to true love?
It does. We've done many, many events, but we have a much, much better success rate than online or apps. So at our typical event, you'll meet about 10 potential matches, and on average, you will match with 2 or 3 of them. Where on Tinder or another app or a dating site, generally you have to go through about 100 profiles to get to the point where you're trying to meet up with someone. And then at that point, you have to hope that you're not ghosted, hope that they actually show up. So it's very time consuming.
Yeah, and not an algorithm to be seen, Linda, which is striking in your technology. There is no technology. I mean, is that just a sign that the algorithms of these online portals just sort of really aren't worth the code they're written on?
Well, people are undeniably craving in-person interactions. It's how we're wired as humans to evaluate a potential friend or lover. The old-fashioned word was chemistry. And it's true. It's based on thousands of subconscious things: pheromones, sounds, sights,
and
other
those are things you can't put on the code when you write out your profile on an app.
Exactly. Even meeting someone in person and seeing if he's rude to the waitress, or does he have bad breath? I mean, these things seem trivial, but they're what an attraction is made of. And this is why speed dating has such a better success rate than online or apps. And it always will. We need those cues that an app can never provide.
Tinder was, of course, the trailblazer, wasn't it? I mean, going back 10 years or so, I'm not quite sure on the precise dates, but I'm thinking the mid-teens. This was when this form of dating really, really took off and gained popularity, and it seemed unstoppable. And this really was the brand ahead of them all in terms of what people identified as the way to connect.
It was. It was based on Grindr, which was pretty much the first app that was actually for gay interactions, and they just took the same idea and used it for straight people. Pre-dating was founded way back in 2001, well before most dating sites or apps existed. So we have a very unusual perspective. We've observed their meteoric rise as they essentially took over the dating industry, becoming the default method for finding a partner. And don't get me wrong, they've worked for many people, which is fantastic, and I'm glad people have found love that way. But it really appears that things are shifting, and this era is ending with more options out there for people, including and especially in-person events.
So Tinder has lost its spark. I mean, how do you see the future? What will the balance be between kind of real and online?
Well, I don't think dating apps are going away, but their dominance is certainly diminishing as people's needs evolved, and people realize that these platforms are not the ultimate solution for dating that many hoped they'd be. I think a lot of people treat dating apps like games rather than a serious tool to find love, chasing that next dopamine high. Is that a problem? It is if your intention is to find a meaningful relationship, or not have someone waste your time ghosting you when the next profile catches their fancy. So I think a lot more is going to shift to in person, because honestly, I think that is really what works the best.
Linda deLucca, thank you very much indeed. Fascinating. Linda runs pre-dating, a speed dating, and singles event service in the States.